Hi, everybody. Welcome to The New Normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. And today you get to meet one of my very favorite magical internet friends in the whole wide world, Miss Jenny Constantine. I met her on the road with Bixweir. I had been watching her for years, actually, way before all this. And then somehow I found out she liked was following Cliff High, which is like, I think the universe weaves us all together in this weird way. And now we're friends. She's a mom. She's a patriot. She's just this amazing lady. And so I can't wait to have her come on the show. We're going to talk about a few things and share my friend with you guys. So give us a like, share this video. We'll be right back with Jenny Constantine right after this. Hey, Miss Jenny. Thanks for coming on the show. I'm so glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You guys busted me. I was just recording the intro for like kind of like a behind the scenes thing. Every time I go on somebody's channel, I like to record like the first, like, you know, the backstage stuff.
Oh,
It's just
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
It's just fun.
I can send you a little clip. I'll make it easy for you. But yeah, I'm so glad you came on. I've just really enjoyed getting to know you better. We have so much fun on the road. Definitely speaking of behind the scenes, we have so much fun behind the scenes when we go on the road. Amy cooks for us, and we get to have a great time. Talking. Girl stuff and having a great time together. So I'm grateful for your friendship, and you have so much wisdom, and I love your patriotic heart for our country and all you do and share with all of us. So thanks for coming on the show. I want to talk a little bit about the moms. You know, you're a mom, I'm a mom, and I see the moms kind of have had enough. You know, we for so long, women, and this is not making women victims in any way, but you know, I heard a quote the other day. I wish I could remember who it was. Maybe it was Glenn Beck. Somebody said, you know, we're not Germans and we're not French rioting in the street, but I think Americans have found their point where they're saying enough. Whether it's the Target stuff or, you know, when you come after our children, that's when, you know, women will be real polite. You might even, you know, step on our toes a little bit. But when you come after a mama bear's children, that's when they won't tolerate that. They'll say, now, if you come after our homes and our children, our families, and that's just not going to fly. So do you see that? Are you seeing that? In your community? I know you're in Florida, so you're in a more patriotic area. And now that leads me to another thing, but I won't go too far down the hole. Do you see mothers around you kind of saying, you know, okay, I've had it. I've been quiet too long. Enough.
So absolutely, totally. And I'll say for sure, just within the last few days, I've stopped myself in the middle of a Target run thought where I'm like, I got to run to Target. And then I'm like, no, we don't do Target anymore. And admittedly, probably should have boycotted that company a long time ago. But for whatever reason, this really did it for me. And Target's always been a real convenience for me and my family, because it's always been just like right there. It's like a little bit better than Walmart, whatever. You know, I haven't got on the online stuff where you just like people are getting everything online. I enjoy running out and running errands, myself personally. So that's just been something that I've cut completely out of my routine now. We just don't do Target. I ended Starbucks a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Starbucks is crap anyways. Honestly, their products are very low quality. But anyways, I digress. So moms, yes. You know, I always felt that the feminine, like the Western feminine archetype she was the rowdiest, she was the most complicated, she was the most difficult to pin down in terms of predictability and patterns. And that's why, we've seen this huge resurgence in this third wave feminism. It's taken on a very fraudulent and kind of cartoonish type of expression, because the liberal media has managed to take that narrative and spew it, like vomit it everywhere. And it's been very misguided. It's been very mischanneled, and it's just been all wrong. But what they do kind of have right about it is the resurgence of feminine archetypes, feminine energy in general. It's just not, it's, very typical with the media. If they get a hold of the narrative, all they have to do is manipulate it ever so slightly to create massive changes. By the time it gets to you, to me, to our kids, then it's been so distorted, and it's been so strategically fabricated for an intended outcome. So yeah, it's, the Western woman is really something else. And the Western mother is an entirely different breed. But around here, Florida, we have a very live and let live policy. So you have your liberal moms, you have your crunchy moms, you have your homeschool moms, religious moms, alternative moms. I'm actually pretty normal. My daughter goes to regular school. She'll eat pizza with gluten in it. I even let her have, candy sometimes. So I'm pretty moderate. We don't do vaccines. We don't do propaganda. We talk about stuff all the time.
That's great. Yeah.
But she loves her school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She likes traditional. She likes her backpack and the line. And I'm like, okay. When I was her age, I was like, get me out of here. I was literally like, please
raging against that.
And I kicked myself out of traditional school as a kid. I'm just grateful my daughter's not as much of a rebel as I was.
I think there will be like a coming together of, or maybe an embracing of the differences instead of the differences dividing us. I was talking with my mom and my little sister earlier today, and I think that Bix sings about has used differences to divide us for so long. And I think everyone's almost to that tipping point. The pendulum has gone the other way of like, because if you actually sit down with somebody in another country or from another religion or belief, when I think about when you travel, you're curious or you're interested in that other culture, religion, belief, and you're excited about learning about it. You're not saying like, you don't feel threatened by it because you're learning about it. You're interested in it. And if we could look at differences that way, of more of an observer instead of feeling threatened by everything that's different from us. And so I wonder if we'll be looking at that as we go through this change, as we realize who the real enemy is, the they, as this truth comes out through the Durham report, which they keep saying, special counsel report comes out with this and that. And these AG statewide, these AG reports are coming out. They just did a big report on the Catholic Church out of Illinois. And they actually said it started in Pennsylvania, but they didn't do a big press briefing out of Pennsylvania, but they're making this big deal. So they're only showing you parts. They're only making a big deal or making public parts of these reports. I think because it would be too much for the people to see all of it or to know about what's happening in the background with all of it. And as that's removed and the they are gone, then maybe the we that are left will be brought together through, sitting with each other and saying like, looking at our differences as something interesting instead of something threatening, I guess. At least that's what I'm hoping for in all of that. As a mother, always trying to make the things right,
Well, on Monday, the World Health Organization, our favorites, just admitted, they're just utilizing programming, predictive programming, the power of suggestion, the power of fear. There's going to be another deadly pandemic. It's going to be worse than COVID. And I was just talking to somebody earlier about how if they didn't absolutely need our consent and our sort of the mental powers of perception to make this happen, if it was that deadly, they would just deploy it as the biological weapon that it is and sit back and watch their plan unfold. But the fact that they have to make all these, devastating announcements every other month, it's just a testament to how desperately they need our attention to make such events possible. So this is why, but the real issue is that they did detonate a weapon, and it wasn't COVID, it was the vaccine. I don't know what we're allowed to say here, but I mean,
I get in trouble all the time for stuff that I didn't even say. So I got attacked by a guy in my chat for that told me that I was a terrible mom, that I shouldn't be raising a African-American child or a Black child because I'm white. And then YouTube told me that I was operating in hate speech and cyberbullying. And I was like, I was the one being attacked. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
We shall not expect any kind of fairness within the machine of AI. And so AI is another front that we're going to have to deal with. But believe it or not, the solution is still the same. All across the board, the solution is the same. And I've adhered to my theory that this is all of it. Every level of this warfare has been in an effort to deteriorate and compromise on a fundamental level the technology of the human heart. And if everybody's heart was functioning properly, if that technology was functioning well and operating free and clear of this synthetic network that is being bulked up and introduced aggressively into the collective as well as in the air and in everything we're consuming, then we'll win this. So, this is a battle of networks. There's a synthetic network and an organic, inexhaustible network. Sometimes we call it free energy. It's the same force associated with the concept of free energy, a never-ending force field, toroidal force field that has existed forever here. But what they're attempting to do with the vaccine is utilize human bodies as walking, moving vessels or conductors, if you will, that tether that network and make it go, bulk it. It's their way of bulking it up. So this is just a war of numbers here. So I adhere to everybody paying attention to the heart and anchoring yourself in your heart. And moms are the best with that. Anybody else have fighter jets conducting a ton of missions?
We've had a ton and going over my house. And we have, of course, a military base close by here in Oklahoma. And I tweeted earlier today, I saw tanks going by the other day. And then there was somebody else posted another big train full of military equipment moving by. I did want to ask you about JFK's birthday is Monday, which is Memorial Day. It's also a bank holiday, which would be Monday, May 29th, Memorial Day. And June 1st is when they've been saying that would be, the debt ceiling day that they've got to reach. Janet Yellen's been saying, that's the final cutoff day. So timing wise, that would be the perfect time to shut this puppy down.
Bix had me do a reading for the debt ceiling on his Patreon last week, which, by the way, have we all heard? I probably shouldn't say anything.
It's public. He posted a video, and we talked about it yesterday on the show. So everybody, if you can, send Bix and the Weir family lots of love and light and prayers for William Weir. Bill Weir passed away on the 22nd. And so we're all sending them all of our love and prayers for peace, and thinking of their family right now.
Yeah, I don't really don't watch or listen to anybody's anything, so I don't know what was announced and what wasn't. I almost was like, "Oh, shit, no," because you know how it is. You don't know. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He posted the song that he created for his dad. You know, I am my father's son. So
Aw.
that was how he put the announcement out publicly. So he posted that song and put the dates of his life on
Sweet.
there. So it's very sweet.
That
So we
is
played that yesterday on the show, and asked everybody to be thinking of them. So
aw,
yeah,
that's nice. That's sweet.
yeah,
Always doing sweet stuff, thoughtful stuff.
yeah.
All
They're
right,
really
all right.
kind soul. He
So
was 83, so and he lived an amazing life,
oh,
and
yeah.
left this legacy of, you know, patriotism, and raised his son to be this amazing patriot born on the 4th of July. And I had this dream about, my dad passed away last year, and I thought of my dad talking with Bix's dad now that they're both in heaven, and telling Bix's dad all about how Bix taught our family about, because Bix is, like we say, he's the godfather of crypto and silver in our family, and he taught our family about, he totally red pilled or orange pilled or silver pilled or whatever our whole family.
Silver pilled, I like silver
Yeah.
pill.
Yeah. So I thought,
That's
well,
good.
how cool that my daddy's probably sitting with Bix's daddy, and
Oh, yeah.
Bix's dad's probably so proud of his son, and hearing all these stories of, oh, your son sang this song, and your son did this, and your son did that for, so many families, and that legacy of freedom and patriotism and all of that, and to be a part of that. So I thought it was cool. So, but I was curious about the Memorial Day weekend, and if we would see anything. It would be JFK's 106th birthday, which when you do that in gematria, it's red pill.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So
It spells
if you
red.
put it in a gematria calculator, yeah,
I
it's
see,
red
I see,
pill.
I see,
Yeah.
okay.
So 106th is
I got a jumper. Okay. I have a jumper and it came out like upright. Grabbing her right now. Bam, there she
curious
is.
if we'll see anything for.
So 8 of Swords, very much about being trapped within some kind of mental construct. And what this really brings to mind is like a lot of people are like, when's the exposure going to happen? When's the big news? When's the big break? When's the big event? And it's like, haven't you guys heard? The truth is out.
Yeah.
Like there is a definite illusion right now that even the most awake and aware people are under, and that is the illusion that
Look.
that there is something more that needs to happen, that something else has to take place in order for the big shebang. Like, you guys, you're it. Like, that's it. It's over. The jig is up. Like, yeah, they're still going to continue, with their shenanigans. What do you expect? Somebody has to stop them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right. But
like
all the pieces are in place. Everything is there. I thought
all.
of, with this news coming out, that we'll be careful with our words, but the stuff about the church coming out yesterday, the big announcement. And when Trump did his executive order for if you do something to harm people, yes, that your assets would be seized. And if that's true, then all of the gold from the Vatican is now seized.
Yeah.
And so for us to think that if that's true, then if all these treasury dollars or bonds, I don't know how it all works, but it's my understanding then that we have all the gold. Then if the treasury dollars, if the T-bills or whatever, if Yellen prints them to whatever, like that she's threatening to do, and or if they all come flooding back to the US, this is the soft landing, that we have the gold. The bad guys have been taken care of. And the gold has been redistributed, or will be, through those T-bills being moved around because the gold has been taken from the bad guys.
Oof.
And you had said that this silver would pop in conjunction with the stuff with the little people.
Yes.
When that was exposed, and that was yesterday.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely fascinating. It's an energy thing. It's again, the idea that there's something else that needs to happen that people are like waiting on.
Yeah,
That's a faulty construct, because
I
all
agree.
of, it's a matter of integration of that information, where now people know it and they move throughout their day, throughout their life with that knowledge, and it changes paradigms. So I have some really interesting stuff coming up here. I have no turning back now, full send, no turning back now, treasure and rewards, lies and falsehoods, can't change the past. And then I have healing and self-love, which these were reflections of this coming weekend, and just some implications possibly, and in regard, like, what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So the can't change the past one made my light go off, because here's this really kind of cool woo-woo layer that Uncle Cliff, I think, would just love to. Oh God, we got to manifest another chat with Uncle Cliff.
I would love that. He
But
told me in the next couple of months, he just couldn't do it. It was a timing thing.
yeah, well, I totally get. I know how it is. I
Mhm.
had to take 3 weeks off. I hurt my
I
back.
know. I'm so glad you're better.
Thank you. That was really bad. That was really scary. I got really scared thinking that was it for me. I'm a goner. I'm not gonna be able to walk anymore. I'd never been hurt like that. But anyways, listen, Linda, listen.
I know. Tell
Listen,
me.
Linda.
Save us. Yes.
Can't change the past.
Yeah.
There's often, when we talk about JFK and the Kennedys, and what I call, and others that I know call, the Camelot timeline. Okay. Camelot. And I'm not even talking, this isn't even analogy. I'm talking literal, the Knights of King Arthur, like the Knights of the Round Court and King Arthur, and those bloodlines, and ancient warring bloodlines that are fighting for control of like where we're at now and where we're going. And they killed the Kennedys in one version of reality, to avoid the Camelot timeline. But there are certain outcomes that not even the most advanced technology can go up against, because there's their way, and then there's God's way, which is, it's all knowing. It's like you can't fiddle with it, and we may be dealing with ancient death cults that know a lot more than we do in terms of occult knowledge and practitioners of this high sorcery, but they're not God, and they tried to play God. And what they did, they messed with the wrong bloodlines, essentially. So yeah. And people have asked me, they're like, is JFK Jr. dead? Are they dead? And it's like, well, some of them are definitely dead. But then, like, one of them, the young one, the hot one, he comes up in my cards as having a pulse.
Interesting. Well, and what is dead? I don't know. That's a whole.
I don't know either. And really, truly, I believe that things are, it's almost as if the timeline where he didn't die, or because what is reality if not a collectively agreed upon, construct, where it's like, this is real because you can see it and I can see it, so this is real. So
Right.
if enough people believe that somebody's dead, the timeline will reflect that person is dead.
Right.
But if enough people believe in the fucking dollar, and
Right.
it has value. Look at that. Look at that.
Speaking of that, my little sister, she was married to a guy from Finland. So her kids are half Finnish. So their grandparents are in Finland. So my nephew just turned, 14. And his, happy birthday, Cody. I love you. And his grandmother from Finland sent him a birthday present. And with it, she's like, and here she translated because she speaks Finnish. So her English is pretty good, very good, but not perfect, And so in the card, she sent him her dollars, and she's like, here, I sent these. I used to keep these for traveling, but maybe they're going to be good for you still in America. I don't know. And
oh
so
my God.
she sent what she had left. So that might be a fun question. Like, will the fern continue to have value going forward? I don't know. Should we put a timeline on that?
What's fern?
The Federal Reserve note.
Oh. So like $1?
The paper dollars, the dirty fiat in your wallet. If you have
All
one.
right. Got it.
The Federal Reserve note.
Let's look at 2023. Let's look at from now until the end of
the rest of this year. Yeah. So will the Federal Reserve note continue to have value through the end of this year?
6 of Cups just jumped out. This is actually the kid card. This is the card of children.
So probably.
Let me see. Three of Cups reversed, 4 of Wands upright, and the Lovers. My God. So as much as I would like to say, this is the year that people lose their psychological attachment and love affair with the dollar, I can't say that that's the case. And I really would, we really have to call it what it is when people have their absolute psychological addiction to the paper money that even they could announce tomorrow. It won't matter. Everything could go down. It won't matter. People will make this go for as long as there are people that believe in it. And I really don't know how else to say it.
No, I appreciate you being honest. That's where it is. It is such fiat means trust, or that they believe in it.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's backed by nothing. It's a faith thing. It's just because, like you were just explaining, it's just that they believe in it. It's literally backed by nothing. And so it's actually backed by student debt if you get down to it.
Oh my God, that's so
they're getting ready to forgive and doing all this stuff. And so it's really because the community gives it value, which maybe you could say, okay, well, the community has decided this is our puka shell, and we're going to pick it up and use it as our puka shell, even though the other thing, or it's the soft landing, like we were talking about earlier, that because of Trump's executive order and because we actually have the Vatican gold, that they're going to keep using that fern because now it is backed by something. I don't know. It's going to be really
Can I just say something? And because you guys know I know nothing about finance. It doesn't come natural to me. I don't enjoy it. It's not fun, whatever. I like to have money. I like to spend it. But I don't really
we like to shop local. Yes.
Right. Okay. So, but what this looks like to me is almost as if you could cast a protective bubble over something that is very treasured and not corrupted, uncorrupted. Think of a bunch of little kids, just a bunch of little kids, and it's about to rain, and you pop open a huge umbrella, and everybody's
not saying umbrella to me. Okay.
Umbrella. Yeah.
So there's a thing about umbrella lately for me. Psalm 91, which is he covers you under his wings and brings you protection, which is Psalm 91. I'm seeing it everywhere.
Wow.
I'm getting chills. And there's this thing called umbrella policy. There's also a thing called Q's umbrella policy. Then my friend, I Am For I Am, came up with this thing called umbrella something, where the lobbyist money can come in, but it has to go out to the community. And the only way like politicians can get the money is by doing the thing that benefits the community. Like they can't, it's like this really cool way of decentralizing the money and making sure that the politicians aren't corrupt. And so I'm just seeing umbrellas everywhere, umbrellas, and lightning. I see lightning and umbrellas everywhere.
So I'm going to tell you, this looks like some very special, something of value. There's an umbrella cast on top of it, but it's not just any umbrella. This is an energy umbrella. This is a shield with a purpose and real function. And it was the Six of Cups and the Four of Wands tells me that it was always on like a clock to be detonated, to be opened on a clock. And this started a long time ago, because Six of Cups is things coming full circle, things coming back around. And then the Four of Wands, think of four wands that touch. And this is really about harmony within communities. And this is also, fours are about power structures. They're the four elements, the four corners, the four, north, south, east, west. And really what that encompasses is the village. That's the community. And so when you talk about even distribution, and you talk about safety networks, and you talk about, all kinds of sort of, and then with the Lovers as well, which is about union and commitment to union and efficiency. So, I mean, it looks like there's like a plan. So yeah, the whole thing is going to start, it's going to continue to get worse and worse, but there's an umbrella there. That's so weird.
It's so weird. Yeah. But yeah, I believe it. I think it's very interesting. And they've always said that, or some people have said that Bitcoin was originally a countdown.
Really?
Yeah. And lately it's been, which I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but it's been filling up with these ordinals and harder to move. And there's the whole thing, which I haven't started reading. That's my next book to read, is Soft War. This is my next book to read, is Soft War by Major Lowry.
Power projection and the national strategic significance of Bitcoin. Wow.
And so I think this has something to do with it. I think this is the safety, but I haven't put it all together yet. Anyway.
Wow.
Now you guys know what Jenny and I talk about when we get together and talk all our girl woo-woo talk.
Yeah, and then it gets later in the night and we're not talking about Bitcoin anymore. I mean, you've got maybe 7 to 12 minutes of my attention span when we're talking about Bitcoin. Okay. And then it's like, oh my God, what?
And then squirrel. Yes.
And then squirrel.
Yeah. Lots of other good stuff. I also saw, I'm seeing lots of like really cool healing devices in some ads, like promoted ads. And if you watch the ad, what's I think cool, and if you read the comments, humans are using them. And if you watch the ad, it's like, oh, there's a dog. But if you keep watching, like, humans are using them in the ad.
Oh my God. I just want to post a link in your chat here. This is called the Energy Enhancement System, a new era of well-being. Do you guys know it?
Yeah, I've been to one here in Oklahoma.
No shit.
And I want to buy one. I want to buy that cube.
I want to buy one too.
That's
an
portable.
Open one. Yeah.
There's one that's portable that you could.
Why did I do that? I'm sorry. Like, I sent it to you.
That's okay. You've got it in private chat. I can copy it and put it in my thing. Copy plain link. Yeah, those EES systems. I had sent this to Uncle Cliff because I was like, look, is
Med
this,
beds are here. They're med beds.
yes.
Basically,
I said, is this too good to be true? Because this sounds too good to be true. And he said, no, scalar waves have been around for a long time. They're known to be healing. The
I have one. This
biophotonic
was
wave.
charged inside one of those things. And
Oh, cool.
this one broke, unfortunately. But
Okay.
I hold it together some real tight like that, and I think it works just fine.
Have you gone to some of the websites?
Yes.
And have you gone to one of the locations? Are
I
there any
haven't done it
locations near
myself.
you?
I haven't done it myself yet, but I am going to make a point to go and do it because I know that people are having a lot of success with them.
What
So,
I think is really cool is they have like an integrity clause with, if they sell you, they'll only sell so many units. So like they can't be too close together. So there's not too much competition, but they also, you can't charge more than $60 an hour, which I think is really cool. And they're trying to space them out all over the world. Because they emit healing up to like 2 miles or something from every center.
oh my
So
God.
if you have one in your community, you're helping to like heal people in your community. I don't
Mhm.
know. It's really cool.
No,
Um,
it's amazing,
yeah.
and, one of the questions I was getting the most a couple years ago was about med beds, and the cards always implied that they were already here,
Mhm.
they just weren't gonna be called med beds, and a lot of people were gonna have a problem with the fact that they weren't gonna be marketed and advertised exactly how they imagined them, like Nasara Jasara type of thing, where they're like,
Mhm.
unless it's exactly like how they
Yeah.
said it was gonna be,
You
then I
gotta,
don't accept it.
yeah, don't get hung up on
Don't.
words, and don't get hung up on, even the images, like that's where like Uncle Cliff said, I don't know if it was a couple years ago, but he was like, during this time as we get to this period of time of change, once we get to the age of Aquarius part, like hold things loosely and open your mind and listen, feel it more than listen or hear it. Like, does it feel right to you? Does that resonate with you as true and right? And trust that more than, holding on to some old narrative, because we know we've been lied to so much in the past. So be very careful about listening to some old narrative, that's what.
Yeah, you guys have to be fluid,
Mhm.
if reading I've learned a lot reading tarot cards, and I've learned that the timelines change minute to minute. We're constantly shifting realities, shifting timelines every second of every day, because the universe, mechanically, it's a pulse, it's a rhythm. There's beats, and everything is held together by these beats. It's the principle of rhythm, the principle of, it's a pulse, it's a universal pulse. So, things can change and you have to be fluid. I could do a reading right now, for a topic that reflects answers that are wildly different than if I were to ask that same question, 3 months into the future, because
Yeah.
everything has changed. I mean, forget 3 months, we talk about 3 hours, things
Right.
change.
Free will.
So,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of it's about patterns. Someone just said something about tinnitus, I think is really interesting. Carolyn said, I have tinnitus and I did a session with the EES and it made it worse, FYI. So that's
No.
not good. Sorry, Carolyn.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry.
You do have to, I know they said it's really important to, just like when you get a massage, you have to like detox afterwards. You have to like do the Himalayan salt and the clay, bentonite clay, like foot soak or bath, even better, because you will like release toxins in your body, and it is like a frequency thing. So I don't know
And
how
it's
that would affect
$60. It's like,
tinnitus in your
you know what
ear.
I mean? It's like for far less than a
Mhm.
hydrofacial. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And some places do it cheaper than that, which this is not an advertisement. Like Jenny and I aren't getting any kickbacks
Yeah,
from this.
no, like literally, it just like
But
came into
try
my
it out.
mind. I'm like, I gotta tell, I gotta tell people about this.
Yeah,
It's healing, man. It's
definitely
like
help somebody.
maybe that's exactly what somebody needs right now is just one more kind of like how you've been hearing umbrella and seeing umbrella, and I say umbrella, and now maybe everything that you heard, it's like, okay, maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
So if someone's, flirting with the idea of an alternative modality to heal this or to heal that, and you keep getting the signs, maybe this is
Right.
your, oh yeah, and that's
Here's
my
another sign.
website.
I've got to run and take my kiddo to
Yes.
jujitsu, but here's another sign for you guys to get more time with Jenny. It's summer, so she has a little more time right now. So you can get more time with her and great information and a lot of her wisdom. You can book a reading with Jenny. Go to jennyconstantine.com and you click right on that button and it shows you her calendar, and you can choose what's good for you. You can also go to her Patreon. That is where she has a recent reading of Wind Moon, whether that's silver, Bitcoin, all those wonderful things. And she has a lot of great content on there for her patrons. So check out both those things. I've got links in the description on this video for my dear friends. You
Thank
guys will
you.
not regret your time with her. It's really just invaluable. I'm still excited about, she did a reading for me and told me that there's going to be a time where me and Cannon are going to go out and look like up and southwest in the sky. And I'm kind of excited about that. I feel like that's probably coming soon. So
Hopefully this summer when we all got to get together.
yes.
Well,
We're having the meetup in Illinois, in Peoria. I'm sure you're very excited about coming out to a cornfield, but it might be a lot of fun. We're going to be out in Peoria, Illinois at Peoria Pizza Works on June 23rd. And we're going to do a big meetup there. I think Bix and Amy are coming too. And we've got a bunch of people coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you can make it to
that's
that one.
amazing. And one last thing, I know you have to go, but I do want to let everyone know who is listening right now. My Patreon, if you hop over to my Patreon and go ahead and just get signed up, I have several tiers, $17 and $25. I'm doing a live stream tonight, actually here in like maybe an hour and a half. And that's going to be exclusive where you can ask me questions in the live chat. It's just you guys and me and my cards. And for right now, this is still like a small pool of people. So it's a very it's wild. We get into some crazy stuff. So if you guys are interested in jumping on a live stream tonight with me and getting some questions answered, hop over to my Patreon and join in on the fun because it gets kind of crazy over there.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I might have to join you later tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Jenny.
Thank you for having me, Lisa.
Yes. And you guys will not regret joining that. So join her Patreon, go and book a reading, and we'll see you guys next time on
Thanks.
The New Normal.
Thank you, Lisa. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Jenny. Love you. Bye.
Love you too.